Hi gentlemen, have a great day. This is page number 103. In here we can see the Banshee boiler, a schematic representation. Boiler feed water inlet is left side top of the diagram. So it goes to economizer, then it goes to primary evaporator at the bottom. After the primary evaporator, it goes to secondary evaporator, then superheater. So the outlet steam is in the right side of the diagram. Air inlet is the top of the diagram to the air heater and goes air to the combustion area, and the flue gas is goes from bottom to top. So the first question, what is the major problem associated with a Banshee boiler? Answer, salt deposition in the transformation zone where all remaining water is converted into steam. Question, how can this be avoided? Answer, by flushing out the boiler after every 4000 working hours. Question, what are the maximum operating temperature and pressure achieved so far in a commercial Banshee boiler? Temperature 650 degrees Celsius, pressure 500 atmosphere pressure. Question, what are the advantages of Banshee boiler? Answer, there is no boiler drum, which means a reduction in your overall weight of the boiler and cut in capital investment. There is no expansion joints as the boiler is of the forced circulation type. Since all parts are welded at the sides, it is easier and quicker to erect a Banshee boiler. Startup is quicker because of welded joints. Need comparatively less floor space than other boilers of the same capacity. Better and more efficient protection of furnace walls, as the high pressure boiler tubes have smaller diameters and are closely spaced. Economic operation at particular load or overload is possible. Inherently free from the problem of bubble formation, which occurs in the case of natural circulation as the load drops abruptly. This feature makes Banshee boiler very suitable for grid power stations. Blowdown loss is less, hardly 4% of natural circulation boilers of the same capacity. Minimum explosion hazard, as tubes are of smaller diameter with very little storage capacity. Question, briefly describe the water stream circuit of a skimmed Hartmann boiler. Skimmed Hartmann. Answer, the water stream system of this type of boiler comprises two circuits, primary circuit and secondary circuit. High pressure, 100 atmosphere pressure, steam produced from distilled water in the primary evaporator of the primary circuit is allowed to exchange its heat with impure water in the evaporator and boiler feed water preheater in the secondary circuit to generate steam 60 atmosphere pressure, which is passed through the superheater to produce superheated steam. Question, what is the nature of circulation in the primary circuit of skimmed Hartmann boiler? Answer is natural circulation. Question, will it be sufficient to effect the necessary rate of heat transfer as to overcome the thermosiphon head of about 2 to 10 meter of water column? Answer is yes. Question, what is the rate of heat transfer from the primary circuit to the secondary circuit? About 10,000 to 12,000 kilojoule meter squared heat degrees Celsius. Question, what are the advantages of skimmed Hartmann boilers? Answer, chances to overheating the minimal, as the highly heated components carry pure water with no risk of salt deposition at all. Accepts wide load fluctuations without undue priming or abnormal increase of pressure in the primary circuit. Evaporation proceeds without priming. Salt deposition due to evaporation of impure water in the evaporation drum can be quickly and easily brushed off. Question, what is the specialty of Volux boiler? Answer. Here the steam generation is based on the principle that the rate of heat transfer from hot flue gas to water is much higher at supersonic velocity than at subsonic velocity of the flue gas. Hence compressed air 2.5 atmosphere is used to produce flue gas at supersonic velocity 200 to 250 meter per second. So in this diagram we can see the air and steam water circuits of Schmidt Hartmann boiler. In the left side of the diagram we can see the boiler feed water heater, boiler feed water pump, and it goes to boiler feed water preheater, then it goes to evaporator, and from the evaporator it goes to separator, then NRV water drum is available. Primary circuit, a primary circuit we can see in the bottom of the diagram. So it goes to primary evaporator, then it goes to the separator. After the separator it goes to, from the evaporator it goes to superheater. Flue gas is passed from lower boiler to the upper boiler. So the air heater is provided in the top of the diagram. Steam outlet is we can see after the superheater. The next question, what is the specialty of Volux boiler? We already seen. Next question, what is the degree of heat release in the combustion chamber of Volux boiler? 30 to 42 into 10 power 6 kilojoule per meter squared of the combustion chamber. Briefly describe the Volux boiler. Answer, air compressed to 2.5 atmosphere by an air compressor driven by gas turbine to produce flue gas at supersonic velocity in the combustion chamber. The gas turbine is driven by hot 500 degrees Celsius flue gas from the superheater exit. The combustion chamber is vertically and cylindrical, lined with tubes of 10 cm diameter. Inside each tube is another concentric tube of 2.5 cm diameter through which hot flue gas passes at supersonic velocity while boiler feed water flows through the annuals between the two tubes. The mixture of water and steam produced passes through a separator that separates steam which is fed to the superheater heated by hot flue gas to produce superheated steam. The flue gas 500 degrees Celsius from the superheater is allowed to expand in the gas turbine to drive the air compressor. The turbine exhaust gas is passed countercurrently through the economizer to preheat the boiler feed water and then finally discharged at 90 degrees Celsius and 120 meter per second to atmosphere. Question, what is the basic factor that limits the capacity of Volux boiler? Answer, with increases in the capacity of Volux boilers, greater in the power requirement of the air compressor, so as to deliver more combustion air at supersonic velocity. Since a gas turbine alone may not be able to cope with this power demanded of the air compressor, power from an external source need to be supplied. That is why the size of the Volux boiler is limited to 100 tons per hour and the power requirement of the air compressor is this velocity is 450 kilowatt. The next question, what is supercritical boiler? Answer, a boiler produced steam above critical pressure means above 218 atmosphere is called a supercritical boiler. 218 atmosphere pressure. Question, what is the basic difference between supercritical and subcritical boilers? Supercritical boilers operate at pressure below 218 atmosphere while supercritical boilers operate at pressure above 218 atmosphere pressure. The subcritical boiler has three distinct sections: economizer, evaporator and superheater, while a supercritical boiler has only an economizer and superheater. Question, what are the advantages of supercritical boilers over subcritical ones? Answer, higher heat transfer rate, more flexible in acceptable load variation, greater ease of operation, higher thermal efficiency 40 to 40% of power generating section can be achieved by using supercritical steam. The absence of two-phase mixture in supercritical boilers minimizes the problem of erosion and corrosion. Steadier pressure level. What is a supercharged boiler? Next question, what is a supercharged boiler? Answer, a boiler where combustion is carried out under pressure in the combustion chamber by supplying compressed air. Thank you.